Hi, I'm Rachel Gaskin and you're watching ECITV.
Hey guys, it's Max Cairns here. Welcome to ECITV. This is episode 26. Let's get into it.
Awesome job there, Maxie. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good.
That's
Sunny
good.
Melbourne at the moment, so locked inside for the day. So jump on here, have a chat.
No one will believe you, Sunny Melbourne. That's it. You lost all credibility at the
All
start of the show.
credibility for the day.
How are you, Shane?
Yeah, good. Just chilling out. It's going to be one of those really long weekends up here, I think.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
But
We got
anyway,
lucky
it is what it
yesterday,
is.
So
What's that, Max?
I said we got lucky yesterday with having a nice, a good day, and we beat the rain for one day. So I guess that's all we can really ask for.
Yeah, when I saw the rain coming, I said to Sean, who was coming up here for a ride, I said, make sure you get here early. Normally it'd be 1:30 in the afternoon with him. He was here at 10. We're riding all day.
It's ironic, isn't it? Like if this show was being produced in Queensland, we'd be talking about, going to the beach and having a surf. If it was produced over in Western Australia, we'd be talking about, going out to Rottnest Island or something. Seems like in Victoria, all you talk about is the weather. There's not much else to talk about in Victoria. So.
No, the weather and lockdown, I think, is the conversation you have with every single person for the last almost 6 months.
Yeah.
Well,
Just go round in circles.
We should be excited though, because tracks are open again now.
Yep.
That's it. So we should have something else to talk about, like tracks being open and new stuff.
Or actually, and how the weather has affected the tracks and blown them out over the last 3 months of lockdown.
That's it.
And is it right, Max, that all of a sudden everyone's wanting their tracks ironed out now, urgently? They've left it till the 11th hour?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, our government just said absolutely no one's allowed in, we were at Park Orchard yesterday and they weren't allowed to have volunteers work. They had to have, paid help and that sort of thing because of all these restrictions. We had to have a COVID safe plan and all that kind of, all that jazz that goes along with it. So, yeah, it's strict and, now it's just one day we weren't allowed to even step foot in the facility and the next day it's, everyone's allowed to go ride it. So, as you guys know, a track, Jenko probably in particular, a track that just gets left and no one touches it, it's not up to scratch. You need a working bee or you need, someone to come in professionally and, fix it all up and get it ready to go because especially we've just come out of winter. So rain ruts and the surface comes up to the top and then rains, washes away. So, we'll try and get in there as quickly as we try. We got into Park Orchards as quickly as we could the first weekend and got it all up and running. So hopefully this rain doesn't kill it.
Yeah.
Well, what we'll do, we'll talk a bit more about All Tracks Australia a little bit later, but we'll get into the general discussion and talk about some new stuff. Is that all right with you, Gazza?
Works for me, mate.
All right. So because I created
what have you got for us?
What have I got for you? Well, this might affect you being an elite product. It's the Elite Seat Cool Down Post. So I think we talked about this briefly.
I think I've seen one of them.
So yeah, so this is the brainchild of Darren James, who's a 45 to 49 rider, a very handy rider. Got a couple of number one Australia titles under his belt. He's from Queensland, and he's done a new twist on the extension post. So while most of them you take the seat out and drop your extension post in, this one he's modified a box one seat, cut a hole in the top, and the extender post drops straight down into that existing seat. So you don't have to take the old seat off. So that creates a lot more simplified system. You don't have to, take your old seat in and out and introduce junk inside your seat post. So I will overlay an image so other people can see that, but you guys will just have to imagine that one.
So under normal racing conditions, you've just got a seat with a
hole in the top.
Yeah, 28 mil hole in the top.
Yeah, well, yeah, a bit smaller. I think it's a 27.2 post.
7.2 post, yeah.
Nothing
to get caught in that?
Maybe you small boys might.
No, I mean, as in, your finger or something, or.
Well, I think they're supposed to be on the handle grips, Gary. You're doing it wrong.
Okay. That's why I was never any good at BMX racing.
And some other news I found on Ultra in the last couple of weeks was there's an Italian-based company which creates a modular pump track mould system out of cardboard. And they're called Pumptracks. So what they have is like basically a cardboard cutout which you fill up with dirt, and voila, you've got a pump track. And we were talking about that before, Max.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great idea for people who can't get professionals in to help them build a track.
That's it. Yeah, I think, and you gotta have some good dirt, and you just fill it up, and maybe a backyard setup or something along those lines. It's just quick and easy.
Yeah, the one thing that concerned me when I looked at the molds was it doesn't seem to have a lot of beef at the top of the corners. And the corners are really banked, and they're quite steep at the top. So I'm sure it's a good starting point, but an awesome solution for people who can't get some professional builders in to do their work.
Yeah, I think it's probably a really good, like, almost starter pack and somewhere you can work from, because the couple of tracks that we've built, it's like you want to get it to a good level, but then if it's a backyard, you want the kids to be out there, or the owners to be out there and adjusting here and there and adding their own little flair, because if it's just us coming in every time and doing something, it's sort of it takes away from the fun of having a backyard track. You want to be out there and it to be your own project. You get a car or something, you want to make it a little bit personalized, so that's probably a really good base that you can then go in and you work out that the turn might be a bit steep and shallow, so you add some some soil to the back of it and make it your own, rather than just a almost pump track JPG one-off kind of individual track.
Yeah, you're right with the lips being so thin. You'd have to almost build them against a retaining wall, or make sure you've got a bit of depth of soil behind it or something to stop that lip from snapping off. Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, it's probably a good base. Something else we've done on Ultra this week was have a chat with Colin Stiles from Transit. He also is a part of Rail the Berm. He's got a fair bit of history there with BMX, a former A-Pro and Vet Pro racer. He is quite opinionated and doesn't hold back. So it was a good conversation. It was nice and loose. And
nice quick chat.
It was quick, yeah. I think I edited it down from 2.5 hours to 2.25. But it was fun. It was a good just sit down and chat with somebody about all things BMX, and I'd like to do it a few more times. Maybe with you, Gary, we can give people a bit of a background on what ECI is and how big it is.
I did listen to that the other day, and as I was mentioning earlier on, and I did find that it is a good listen. It's not something that personally I'd sit and watch for 2.5 hours, but to use it like a podcast or something, to play in a van next, when we are able to go to a race meeting or something, to kill those long hours on the road or something, it's great to have something like that to listen to. So yeah, keep those coming, Shane. They're awesome.
Yep. And you got some new stuff to show us, Gary.
Yeah, a couple of things. One is Alienation has bought out some chrome Malice and Mischief rims, which we have in the country now. Now, we were talking a bit earlier on about the lack of chrome rims available, and it's all to do with the EPA laws in America after Hurricane Katrina that sort of wiped out a lot of the electroplaters. And so they changed the laws. And as you can see by this, it's a real high quality chrome. And what they're doing now, and Profile's the same, is they're virtually getting these done through hot rod shops almost, because there's such limited amount of chromers that there's only real high quality chroming available because of the EPA laws. And so because of that, the price is inflated a little bit, but it is just an absolutely beautiful job. So these are available now in the Malice and Mischief in 36 hole. They only just came in during the week, so they'll be up on the website Monday.
Hey, Gary, what did they do with the braking wall on the Mischief? The back?
Just left it as chrome. Because it is a quality chrome, it will scuff. but it won't peel. So we'll get a bit of. But all you do is you run these front and rear and run disc brake, and
Bob's your uncle.
that's it. Simple as that.
Oh,
But yeah, how cool
nothing
is that?
better than 2 front rims without a big braking line on it.
So keep your eyes out. We might see someone like Max on these, or maybe even a Dean Patch or someone very soon. So that's one little thing. The other thing,
Whiting's probably regretting his decision of the carbon rims after seeing those ones.
The other thing we got in and had in for a couple of weeks is a little Intense BMX mini seat. They had the little bumper seat in hard plastic, a PCP. They've got them in a little padded setup now, an awesome little mini race seat, and available in quite a few different colours. There's your black, white, and there's blue, yellow trim as well, like the red trim. And also, I think there's about 6 in the range. So they're available now on the website. So, yeah, if you want a nice little padded seat, it's an awesome little one to run on your bike. Now, the other thing we've got, we're building up a custom build at the moment. I just thought I'd show you this because the customer was quite impressed with the look of this, but that's what we're going to run on one of the builds. A real stealthy looking. I've said before on the show, I'm a big fan of matte black with gloss black stickers. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, that just looks awesome.
And so I feel like that could be run with any color combination of
that's
frame.
That's the part about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the new tapered steerer, as you can see by the steerer tube down to the 1.5, the 20mm dropout with the Stay Strong carbon rims. So that's getting built up probably Monday into a custom build. And the other thing we got in, I know none of you can see this and it just looks like a flag that I'm holding, but that's the new profile camo snapback hat that just came available. So they're in stock now, along with double extra large in all the profile tees. Perfect. So there's a quick rundown of some of the stuff that's turned up at ECI this week.
All right, so we'll get on to some events news. New Zealand are having their national championships this weekend, so good luck to all the Kiwi riders that might watch our show. There are no elites because that was run earlier in the year where Michael Bias won the elite men's and Rebecca Petch won the elite women's. So Michael, I just shot him a message just to confirm those winners. And he said he's healing well. He's got another appointment this week, so it probably won't be long before we see him on the bike after, blowing his collarbone out.
That's quick.
Yeah. Yep. So BSX has a new gold partner, All Tracks Australia. Welcome aboard, Max.
Thank you. That's exciting times.
Yeah. As a part of their contribution, they've done a lot of track changes for us, and we'll probably finish those off sometime in the near future. We'll just have to get our people to talk to your people and make an appointment.
Yeah, I'll get the secretary to give you a ring or something. The assistant.
We'll have to wait till all the tracks are finished getting resurfaced, won't we?
Oh, that's it. Hopefully we get busy soon.
Yeah. The Western Australian State Championships are in the history books. So I think we spoke about them briefly last time. They were just about to be run. Jamie Gill won the elite man. Felicity Mann won the elite women. That confused me a little bit. I was starting to think I wrote her name down in the wrong category. She won just ahead of Rachel Gaskin. It looked like it was a close race. Rachel has been on the show before. And Kaylin Young won the 30-plus Masters. He won that.
Boy.
He's back.
I don't know if we'll see him again for a couple of years. You know what he's like.
The fans.
We've got a link in our description on YouTube for the results if you want to go and see the full results from the WA State Championships. So, Gary, for the first time in what seems like forever, we've got an Answer BMX Show Us Your Bike competition. How exciting is that?
We certainly do. And you're going to have to share the screen.
All right. Can you see us stay strong?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That looks awesome, doesn't it? See, that again is so that's Troy's. That's Troy
Denny. Yep.
Troy Denny's bike. I'll tell you what, that exactly what I was talking about just previously. The sort of satin black with gloss black stickers. I mean, this is similar with the gunmetal grey with the gloss black stickers. I just think that's a great combination. So
that's a good coloured frame. I remember, Glubby had one, and it's just they stand out enough, but they're also subtle.
Yeah. Probably the only thing I reckon that lets it down a little bit is the blue stem. I don't know why it's got a blue stem, unless that's just a temporary thing. But needs to throw a black one on or rattle can that one, I'd say.
I kind of like it. It makes you realise you're not looking at a black and white photo.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I like the disc. The disc is just so cool. Like, makes I'm not a big fan of the additional stopping power that people think they need, but I think just the cleanliness of having no V brake on the back of it, and just it makes it look. I think it sets the bike off.
I'll give you a quick rundown on it. So Troy Denny's out of the Lilydale Club, Lilydale BMX Club. He's out of Mount Evelyn. It's a Stay Strong V2 with answer dagger forks. The wheels are Croupy Rhythm rims, Stay Strong disc hub rear, Croupy front. He rode Ryan Whitling's bike. We all know Ryan. He's on the show quite often and will probably be on a lot more. At one of the tracks and loved it. It's the first alloy BMX he's ever owned, and he thinks the graphics just finish on the Stay Strong are really nice. Now, people might know a lot about Troy Denny, but he's into cars and hot rods, and he's definitely into good-looking items. So for him to give that praise is a high recognition. Additional information: he runs Avian cranks, 180 mil, Renan 46 chainring, Spank pedals, Shimano XTR brakes, Tioga seat, profile stem, 11 bars and ODI grips. So a really good setup there, it looks like.
I really like the way it's taken on that checkered floor. I don't know, it adds a bit of perspective without distracting from the bike too much.
Well, knowing Troy's history with the automotive industry, I can fully understand him having it on checkers.
Extra points for the photography, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're ready for Lincoln?
Yeah, let's put Lincoln up there.
Here we go. There's Lincoln's bike. Oh, there's a bit of colour in that one.
Isn't there? It stands out. Crikey, blue, green, and black.
Yeah. So,
take it away, Shane, baby.
You want me to do this one? So Lincoln obviously is closely related to Troy. Let's see. He's also from the Lilydale Club. Lives in Mount Evelyn, which is just up the road, Gary?
Yep. They've got a ripper pump track there that's very popular at the moment.
Oh, that's right. And this is a GHP Expert XL with Sins Elite carbon forks. The wheels are Sun rims with Supercross quick twitch hubs. He said he chose this frame because he liked the shape of it. It was black and red. My dad said he would buy me the frame and paint it. My favorite colors, black and green, if I worked at his work after school and saved up for all the parts. So is Troy a custom painter or something, Gary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The best thing about my bike, the best thing about my bike is it's the only one in these colours. It does look tricked, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks awesome. Troy's a panel beater spray painter and does a lot of high-end car builds and everything. Been around for a lot of years and top guy.
So you would have had to replicate the original decals to get them to look like that.
Yep.
Nice job. What else have we got here? Additional information. It's got profile cranks. So it's another young fella running profile cranks, but chain ring, stem and seat as well. Answer handlebars, grips and seat clamp, KMC chain, Promax brakes, Insight seat post and Toyota tyres. So it's a nice little build there.
It certainly is. Definitely stands out on the track.
I liked a little bit of old school with the chain ring, the direct drive.
Imperial, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, profile Imperial. Geez, they've been around for a long time.
And they're still going strong, aren't they, Gary?
It's super popular at the moment. Like, yeah, there's a They went through a little bit of a lull, but now they're they're really pumping out. So I suppose it's also because they're available, from virtually from 20 tooth up to 48 tooth in 7 colours. So there's not a lot of chain rings that have that sort of range. So
yeah. All right. I'll let you do our third one. I just got to find his photos. Where is he? So we'll get started with Wes. So
yeah. Oh, Wes, he's a we could almost run the whole answer show us your bike just with Wes's range of bikes. This man has got a ridiculous amount of bikes, and he's so passionate about it and spends a lot of time, as you can see by that one, displaying them and making sure they look good. So yeah, he's out of the Penrith Club in New South Wales. The frame is a 93 Elf built by GHP. The landing gear.
Actually, I think he's asked that about. He must have been on the Terps that night. It's a GHP, clearly, so it must have been made by Elf.
Oh, yeah, it is too. I'm looking at the writing and not looking at the picture. You're right. So GHP built by Elf. Forks are SE landing gear forks. The wheels have got sun ringle rims with TNT hubs, and just try to work out their red line cranks and red line chainring. It looks like.
Yeah, red line V bars as well.
Oh yeah. It's a he's passionate about his bikes. He loves. I love it. It's my retro race bike, and it's all an Elf built 4130 chromo frame. What's not to love? Extra info: red line retro cranks, chainring, and V bars. I probably should have read that, shouldn't I?
So that's new parts on an old frame.
Get that in the big jobs. Max C.
Probably.
And they center pull brakes?
No, they look like side pull.
They're in the side pull, okay. Good little rig. He goes to a lot of trouble.
Sorry, I got some more photos here. He's got snake bellies on it.
Huh.
There's the brakes. So they're MX 1000s, aren't
they? Yep.
Old school. That's cool.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? There's
you just don't want to touch it with your fingers on that chrome finish. You end up with fingerprints at the end of the day.
I like the starter just chilling in the background.
All right, so that's it. I don't know if you want to refresher and have a look at those first couple again, Max, but we're going to get you to choose the winner.
Oh, I'm choosing the winner.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that GHP just because the custom paint job. I reckon you go that extra detail, and that's what we've been sort of talking about around the track. It's like to have those little fine custom details. I think it makes your bike really stand out. Like for my bike, I know you can get it all from the shop, and you can pretty much replicate it. But to have something that custom, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Congratulations.
Good choice, Max. Good choice.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Lincoln.
So we'll have a bit of a pack heading out to Lincoln in appreciation for his entry, and congratulations on your win.
And good job at working at the shop and buying all his own parts. That's cool.
And look, and that's not just hot air. He actually, I know Troy has grabbed a couple of parts from us over the past 12 months, and he's quite adamant about the fact he only gets something for his son when his son's earned it and worked at his shop to earn it, rather than just turning up with a heap of stuff for free type thing. So he's definitely doing the right thing there.
Did you have to do
makes
that
you
when you were
appreciate it?
Sorry, Max.
No, I had to. Mine was a bit of a plea deal. Like I had to explain why the parts I needed I would get, and then if I could justify the reasons that I really needed it, then I could get them. I remember I was on Rapido Cycles, which is like a bike shop in Essendon, and it was Gary supported. So we got I had a intense, I think it was a Sniper back then, and it needed all new parts because they're all ruined. And I really wanted F1s because they were the rage, and I wanted square forks, and I had these old Mazzocchi things that were horrible, and I had to justify that mine was so old that they might break, and I really needed new carbon forks. And then so I pleaded for about 6 months, and I finally got them. And we actually got a Kuwahara that was pretty decked out, and we just swapped the frame over because it's so I could run an intense. But yeah, mine was it needed to be justified, and only if it was very needed, it was put on the bike. My bikes were not very bling until I started paying for stuff.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
I think that's the best thing, though. Like, you get the best bike at 12 and you've got nowhere to grow. But, for me, I had, redline flight hub, or like the stock redline hubs until I, went out and bought a nice set. I think it was Tough Necks was the next step up, and then went from Tough Necks to, some Supercross quick twitch, and then elites, and then, stealths, and then, you sort of, that's when you start getting to the top of it. But, every different wheel you can sort of feel the change and feel the, you get a couple of carbon parts or a couple of, lightweight parts, and it actually, you can feel it rather than just having the top of the line at the start and then sort of having no room to grow. So
it probably, because of that, your upbringing in regards to not just expecting stuff from your parents all the time, you probably don't realise that, but that carries on in life with you, because I mean, ECI and Chase have looked after you for quite a while now, and you're definitely not one of the riders that just wants. You appreciate everything you get, and you don't change things that don't need to be changed. So that's probably carried on in your life. So that's awesome. Credit.
I think that's the thing. Yeah, cheers. But I think that's the thing. You buy good products, and we were talking about it before. You like the BMX industry has made such great hubs and cranks and stuff that I think I've had bars and stem and all that sort of stuff for a year and a half, 2 years, because it's a testament of how well they're built. You buy the high end stuff, and they will last for a long period of time, because that's they're built to do some pretty crazy stuff, so they do last. The chains and the tires and stuff you change pretty regularly, but you get a good Renan chainring or something, and that thing will last almost your whole life.
Not perfect.
All right, so if anyone wants to enter for following episodes of the Answer BMX Show Us Your Bike, make sure you go to ecitv.com.au/bike, and there's a form there for you to fill out.
You still have to think about that, don't you?
I do.
I don't even accept it.
It's actually hard to think about it when I see the big smile on your face waiting for me to stumble.
Yeah, I don't even think about trying it.
So since we've got you on board, Max, we thought we'd come up with a title for the segment, hoping that we might get you again in the future. And we couldn't have Michael Bias having his own segment title, so I thought we'd call it Relax with Max, and hope you approve of that. There's no one more relaxed than Max.
Go for it. I like it.
So basically, we'd like to have a bit of a chat about your bike to start off with. So what I might do is just share the photo on here. Again, bear with me. I'm an amateur at this. Gary is the expert, but he refuses to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got 2 bikes that I sort of sent through that are almost the same thing, but I built up my carbon for the World Cups, and then we got locked down and it started raining in Melbourne, so I've got it back hiding away, so it just didn't get smashed by the rain and the mud and everything that we end up riding with. So there's the alloy one. So I built that one for the Nationals in 2018 at Czech. So that was new wheels. So for the Nationals, I got new wheels, frame, stem, and chain rings. So yeah, and the rest of the stuff's all sort of been on there for a while. But yeah, it's kind of pretty much a full ECI build. It's what do we got? The chase frame, RSP 4, profile stem, 11 bars, 11 forks, Alienation rims, with the Profile Elite hubs, and then the Renan, what was it at Shepparton? Probably a 50, 18, I think I ran there because it's pretty wide open. And then 180 DXRs at that race. It's forever changing. And then the disc brakes, obviously, to make it look all bling with the 2 front rims. I think that's
Jeez,
a nice
how
touch.
good would a set of chrome alienations and polished hubs look on that?
I remember Dave Lyon built up a chase back for the Worlds in 2013 in Auckland, and everything was chrome. He had the chrome 11 bars, forks. He had the rims and the hubs. Everything was chrome on it, and it looked bling.
Yeah.
I might have to copy him and go chrome everything out.
So this isn't the latest model frame, is it?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
RSP4.
The RSP4, yeah.
So that's the high end alloy one, and then I also have the ACT 1.
1.0, yeah.
So Chase,
1.0.
Chase don't change their frame every year. Then, if you said you set this up for 2018, or do you get them earlier because you're a factory team rider?
Yeah, I think they might have gone a few new colours this year.
Yeah, they don't change their frames every year, and that's part of the reason that's not known as like a Chase 2018 frame or whatever.
Yeah.
They just have an RSP4, and when they develop an RSP5, so it just comes out when it comes out.
Yeah.
So it's not sort of pigeonholed to a year. If it's a successful frame, they can carry it over for a couple of years.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. This is like an awesome. This is the bike that I'm back on now, and it's like they last a long time, and they're so versatile. Like I'm riding it, doing Pumptracks, and at the track and doing everything with it. So they're a really good bike.
I think a few weeks ago we showed off an 11 tapered fork to fit the 1/8 to 1.5 tapered steerer, didn't we? Do you run that, Max, or have you got just the 1 1/8 straight through?
No, I've got the 1 1/8 at the moment because I know they've only just come out with those new forks. So maybe if I build up the carbon again, and I'll bling it all out and get all the fresh product on it. I have to talk to the boss.
Nice set of answer. 11 tapered steerer in chrome would look good on that.
Oh yeah. I think we're getting a build happening already.
That sort of happens, doesn't it? It's not as if I haven't got enough builds to do at the moment.
Is it making a lump in your throat, Gary?
No, not quite. But then Sean's not here, so.
I think we've lost Max. He's frozen.
Yes, Steve. He's just bewildered by the thought of his bike getting fully chromed out.
I'm back. Did you lose me?
What happened, Max?
I don't know. I went on a bit of a talk about the bike, so I'm not sure how long I was talking before it cut out.
We
don't know because we weren't listening.
I was like, I finished what I was saying about the forks and Chase doing 11 doing really good R&D, and then I sort of was waiting for a response, and then I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't that good of a statement that I just made, and then it was like, oh no, these guys aren't even moving.
Yeah, I'll share it again. I can't remember the last thing that you actually said.
I think just about those 1.5 forks I was saying.
That,
yeah, 11's done a lot of R&D and kind of got them, I think, at the Grands last year. And they didn't sort of just jump on the trend to be trendy. They made sure the fork was right before they brought it to market, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. And safety is the biggest concern, especially, we've all seen a couple of sets of forks blow out, and I think it's definitely safer to make sure you've got a good product than just get something out there for the sake of it.
Yeah, definitely.
You've said in the past that you run this during the winter so you don't sandblast your carbon. Do you notice a big difference between the two frames, like stiffness or just the way it rides?
A little bit. I felt it when I went to the carbon at the start of the year because it was, I built it up and then went straight to Shepparton and started riding that track, and it's just so big and open. And I think it was just sort of, it made it feel nice, and it's like if that's new bike psych or anything like that. But you know, I definitely feel like it's cool to have that stiffness just coming out of the gate, and on those big open tracks, it's just there's so much space, and it's like, you know, I think maybe an alloy is cool for when you're doing the tight tech stuff, but on those big open tracks, I think that the carbon frame just felt really good out there.
Does the carbon frame have the aero seat post as well?
Yeah, all the chasers have that the aero seat post, which is nice because I can just transfer all the seats between bikes.
I over the years I've had bikes with aero forks and aero frames, like an aero down tube, but it kind of always bugged me that they'd bother, because, like, you know, I've always been a big boy, and why would you need a tiny little tube that's aerodynamic when you got a big body behind it that's going to be a big windbreak? It does look cool though, but yeah, I just don't quite see the point, to be honest. But
I think it's one of those things that, you know, when people are telling you that they're saving, you know, a couple of grams here or there, but then you look at their gear, or, you know, maybe they need to go to the toilet before the race or something like that. Like, you know, everyone quite gets super into it, but you look, you know, they might, you know, get all the carbon parts, but then have some big, you know, heavy mountain bike shoes or something. It's kind of like, you know, almost counterintuitive. But I think if you're one of those guys that goes all the way down the pathway and makes everything aero, it's all cool. But, you know, some people just, I think it's almost like selective hearing. Like they want one thing good, and then they're not stressed about the other things, or here or there.
I had a friend once who drilled out his handlebars, so the crossbar was all completely drilled out. He pulled all the padding off his seat and drilled out the seat and cut it right down to a minimum. And his wife just turned to him and said, "Why don't you just go to the gym, you fat bastard?"
I can't remember Ursula saying that.
No, I'm too lazy to do any drilling on my bike. Actually, I couldn't do it. I like my bikes too much.
I think Brock Tuckerman used to drill out his handlebars under the grips.
Who was that?
That was Brock Tuckerman.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure he used to do that, and he had some cool stuff he used to do some trick stuff. He'd hot rod his bike up and bend his profile pull so the thing was screaming down the track.
I think the big advantage with the aero seat post is more just the fact that you can just throw the seat in, clamp it on, and you're not lining it up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main advantage I can see, as opposed to the aerodynamics of it. It's more just the fact you can just throw it in, clamp it, and it's straight. So
there's nothing worse than leaning back on the gate and the call's going and your seat's pointing sideways, and you're trying to get
a degree out.
That's the thing. It's like, you know, your bars can be all jacked up sideways, but if your seat's not directly in line with your down tube, you're trying to kick it with your knee and you miss your gate, and
crazy.
So go ahead.
Yeah, we had a guy in the Lilydale BMX club years ago. He used to constantly drill out the cranks. So he's crank arms, and this man's still in staging. So yeah, g'day John, how are you? He'd drill out all the boys' cranks, and so there was just like a honeycomb. But he was ahead of his time, really, because that's what Rennan's bought out now is honeycomb cranks.
We just got to say, if you do that to your profiles or DXRs, you void your warranty. Don't be calling Gary after you do it. He said it on here, but it's he doesn't advise it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not endorsing it.
So it looks like the sprint block hasn't had much work, Max. What's going on there? You just keep it.
No, that was a freshie back then. That was I think that was just for the photo. I pulled it out and then probably sent it to someone actually. But no, the sprint block's looking a bit ratty at the moment. 5 days a week it gets used because we can't really do too much else. So just sprinting on that, and that's all we can really do. Like, you know, bought some gym equipment and doing a little bit of gym at home now. But yeah, it's kind of sprint block on the street. The neighbors probably think I'm a freak, just out there every night, you know, stand start sprints.
So when are we going to get Dwighty on to give us a bit of a rundown on the sprint block?
I don't know.
Have you got any influence on him? Because we can't get him on here.
He's a bit shy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to give him a ring actually. been hard in lockdown. It's been, you know, just working and training and doing all that sort of stuff. So yeah, got to get back into a proper routine now that the tracks are open and we can kind of get a bit of normality back, really.
So thanks for showing us through your bike. Actually, I think I got one more photo here. Let's see. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yep. There's the profile.
Yeah, nice pics.
There we go.
We also wanted to talk to you about All Tracks Australia, which seems to be taking off a bit now. So I'll stop sharing. Is that stop sharing?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So how's things going with David and All Tracks Australia? You had to have a name change recently.
Yep.
So
yeah, pretty much so I started doing earthworks since all this lockdown with Dave Gosling, who's Northern member, and I sort of met him at the track one day and then started coaching his boys, and then he got into it, and then he just sort of said to me, if you ever need work. And then I hit him up one day and asked him for work, and one day on the site we were talking about how cool it would be to build tracks, and I was like, oh, that's the dream, you know, to be able to use machines and do all that. I was like, oh, well, let's do it. Like, why would we not? You know, we had, like, he's got the experience in the machines, and I sort of know how to build a track and what I would want. And he just said, like, come on, let's make it happen. There's no point in sort of just wishing it to happen and not tell anyone. So yeah, we started it up and built did a bit of a fix up at Northern. The jumps out the front, they were sort of they'd gone to nothing. I think when I was there, when I was 10, I was jumping them and they hadn't changed since. So we went there and did a bit of a change there. And then we got another job off that at Ben Simmons's house and sort of started the ball rolling with that. And then, we decided the earthworks is dig solutions. So we thought we'd call it track solutions, and checked the internet, and there was nothing on with that. And then when we went to register it, it's actually a silent blind company, Track Solutions, where obviously the blind sit in tracks or whatever. So there was a silent company with an ABN that I guess I'm not sure who they sell blinds to, but so yeah, we pivoted to All Tracks Australia, which we're really happy with, and is what we're going to move forward with. So it's registered now and it's all legit. So we'll stick with All Tracks, and we've got some t-shirts made up and hopefully get some more of them, and just start building tracks. And kind of, I think there's been a bit of a void in Melbourne, at least, of, you know, people building tracks and sort of not knowing who to do it, and, you know, flying people down and whatnot. So we're trying to just do it and, you know, do a bit of maintenance. If people need, you know, the track, like we just did Park Orchards, resurface that. And, you know, if anyone wants it, you know, straights changed or anything like that, just have someone that's kind of local, and, you know, hopefully we can do a good job and have a bit of a perspective, because I think a lot of the time us pros at the track, you know, we always have ideas of what we want to do, but it's kind of no one's ever really followed through. And I'm guilty of it the same. Like, oh, it'd be so cool to change this and this, and then, you know, I'm too busy out there in the gym or doing sprints to come out and help and change it. And just like, I guess I sort of didn't really think didn't realize I had as much experience as I do. Like, where I started building it and, you know, explaining lips and stuff to Dave, and because he can do all the earthworks really well, but just sort of getting him the understanding of the jumps and everything. And then he's picked it, like, you know, he sends me photos of Pumptracks and everything that, you know, dream builds that we want to do, and he's picked it up really quick. And now I can, you know, be out there, and he's already over in the corner and shaping jumps and doing all that, which is cool. So he he's, you know, showing me the business side of it as well, because he's been doing earthworks for 20 years. So I'm, you know, keen to learn the business side of it, and, you know, actually, you know, own a business with him and do all that sort of thing. I think it's a cool opportunity, and I feel like the BMX industry and just bike industry is a good place to start, because I think everyone is very welcoming, and, you know, everyone that, you know, did some work up for you, Shane, and it's like everyone seems very cool and very interested in, you know, helping us and just growing our brand.
So there must be a lot of projects out there opening up for you now that people know that you're actually doing it and got this experience between the both of you. What jobs do you look forward to the most? Obviously you're not going to get to build tracks from scratch very often here in Victoria, but I guess what would be the dream job to do?
Yeah, I think that's sort of what we're almost working out. Like, for me, it was like, I want to build BMX tracks. But yeah, as you said, like everything's established, we've already got, like, I think we've got, more than enough tracks in Victoria. There's seven in Metro or 6.5 in Metro and, whatever there is. So I think like a pump track from scratch would be cool because, it's cool going in, working on someone else's track that they've already designed and done everything. But I think a ground up build would be very satisfying to go there and, knowing that it was a flat piece of ground when we rolled up and then leaving and seeing kids ride something that you have created is, I think, the ultimate dream. And there's a lot of pump track opportunities coming. I think Melbourne is pretty far behind at the moment. I think we have Cockatoo and there's Creswick up in Ballarat, and then a few sort of smaller ones, but like a full size kind of Velo Solutions is sort of the market leader at the moment. So that's sort of the standard to have. Some of those sort of high standard tracks in Melbourne, I think would be pretty cool because I see Bruce Morris and all those guys up in Queensland riding awesome pump tracks all the time, and Queensland's got them everywhere, and I think we're lacking a little bit. So I think if we can start really building them up, then it's going to be all guns blazing. And I think the pump track industry is going to be really cool with just the array of people that can ride it. You can have scooters, skateboard. Like we were up at sort of the Creswick one, and the blokes roll up on skateboards and pretty much having just as much fun as the bike riders are, and it's not just a single discipline track.
Do you have a preference as to what type of track that you ride? Obviously, you guys build pump tracks, jumps. You can build race tracks and I guess mountain bike trails as well. And you've really lent your hand to all of those. Which is your preferred track, I guess? Or
well, I think like the pump track is starting to be something that I'm really starting to enjoy because it's like it's like I'm not quite good enough in a skate park. I just haven't had the hours and the reps in the skate park, but the pump track is so much fun and it's so much skills development, and you have to be, on your game so much. And it's like, it's not as much effort. Like if I was going to just ride, I think a pump track is a good alternative to the BMX track because, I get carried away at the BMX track and start sprinting at straights and wanting to go faster and faster and, going hard. And then it's like, and then it turns into a training session. And then it's like, then I'm serious, it's sort of, that's the BMX track is, where my heart is, but it's kind of the pump tracks is becoming almost like a fun sort of section of the BMX and a really good skills development that I've been using and really focusing on during this lockdown is just riding my bike. Cause I think, going to the trails, going to the skate park, it's all like helping with the BMX racing and it's all helping with, every aspect of it. Because I think, just riding, like the reason we're all in the sport is because we love riding our bike. And I've really sort of opened my eyes up this lockdown, being forced to, but just realizing how fun it is just to ride all the disciplines of it.
So coming out of COVID potentially in the next few weeks, you'll probably find you need to spend more time on the gym, in the gym or on the bike, won't you? And then how does that affect work and how does that affect All Tracks Australia?
Well, I think it's just a balancing act. Like I have started, working full time and doing that with the earthwork stuff. And I think it's not, the ideal setup. Like, of course you want to be getting paid to ride a bike and be training every day. But I think at the moment for me, that's a little bit unrealistic. Like, and being able to just train after work and work it out. Like I've been getting up at early before work and going to ride at, a skate park or the jumps near me. And it's like, I think it's not as hard as I thought it was before, or it's sort of been played up to me before, like, oh, you can't work full time and still race. And, I think it is something that's possible. And especially if you're building tracks, I think I might be able to sneak in an hour here, an hour there, as a quick test session. And, just keep the skills sharp. And I think as long as you're you're doing the right amount of training, there might be, I've done, 10, 12-hour days of, going straight from work to the gym and doing that stuff before. And I think it's a little bit more dedication. It's a bit harder, but I think the outcome will be better once, the goal would be able to build a BMX track or to, do a bit of maintenance on it, then race it that weekend, I think is going to be the ultimate sort of reward for all the hard work that goes into it.
Awesome. Just give me a sec. I think I've got Frozen playing in the background here. It's getting a bit distracting. Just bear with me for 1 second.
I got a little sister. I might start singing along soon. I grew up on
it. The professionalism of ECITV, eh?
Oh, that's it. I think the vacuuming at my house has been held off because I said, "Oh, you guys, everyone's got to be quiet for an hour or so."
I think Ripley's been wanting to get involved quite a lot, so every now and again in an interview, she'll pop up right behind me and have a look at the screen.
A few cameos.
Everyone wants to be on ECI BMX.
Can you blame them?
That's it.
Did you have any questions, Gary?
No, I think we've pretty well covered most of it. And probably worst case is the fact that we chatted so much before we started doing the show. Now I don't know what we have or haven't spoken about. But anyway, we can always pop in a bit of the stuff we spoke about previously. So,
well, actually, Max, how do people get in touch with you if they're interested in getting some work done, either to, I don't know, private track or to their own club?
Yeah, I think just the best is we've got the our Instagram, which is just All Tracks Australia, or our email is alltracksaustralia@gmail.com. Just shoot us. We'll be able to respond to everyone. It's not like we're flooded with emails or anything like that. We're trying to grow it up and make it as big as we can because it's good fun, and I think if we can help Melbourne and inevitably Australia and just doing tracks here and there and really trying to get them to a good standard, because I think it'd be it's just a benefit to everyone to have really fun tracks to ride and being able to change straights here and there, and because I think most of the Melbourne tracks have been pretty similar for a while, so to be able to kind of revamp a few things and make it all fun again and make some cool places to ride.
Sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to
I'm looking forward to getting up to BSX and smashing that, finishing it up, and then getting to do some good sessions on it. It's come up really good.
Yeah, it's riding really well now too.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't we have an announcement to look out for tomorrow? The possibility of the state opening up, is that tomorrow? Slim chance.
They're supposedly dragging it forward a bit. So, our numbers are down so much that surely we can, we deserve a little bit more freedom.
Yeah.
So it'd be good just to be able to get up or have us get together at least. Doing everything over Skype.
Live show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So,
yeah.
But let's cross our fingers and hope that we get some announcements tomorrow.
Yeah. I guess that's it for our show. Actually, one thing I need to do is apologise to Laszlo. We did do a shout out last week and I butchered his surname. It's not
Kissimon?
It's not Kissimon, it's Kishamon.
Monty's going to be so upset.
So yeah, hi to Laszlo Kishimon and thanks for watching.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's it.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Max.
We can all run away and get a haircut now. All got ISO hair.
You're lucky I don't have the beard. I had a 12 or almost a 2-month beard growing for the whole second lockdown, so that's finally gone and I'm clean shaven again. It's getting serious.
Crazy. And you did a bit of a Sean and Shane shoot the shit show?
Yeah, so he came up for a ride yesterday and then he goes, oh, I'm here. Maybe we should just do another episode. So I dragged out all my camera equipment only to find I had a 4 gig SD card. And I thought, well, that's going to have to do. So it was good for half an hour. So we didn't have to wait for his battery to run out this time. So it was good to get a short show in. And it was interesting, actually. The dynamic changes a bit when you're in the same room as each other.
Definitely was, yeah.
I did get to clean out the bike room a little bit.
It's Ripley.
I did get to clean out the bike room a little bit, and I always wanted to use that as a backdrop instead of the guitars. But so it was good. Yeah, I'm probably do some more shooting from there actually.
Excellent. Well, that's probably about it from all of us.
Awesome.
And Ripley.
And
Till next week, everyone.
see you next time.
Stay safe. And let's hope we can get out of this COVID stuff. Cheers, everyone. Dad. Good way to finish your show, Dad.